Uh,
That's that shit there. You coming through some fatal. That's that money. That's that.
what's up, folks? This is Ed Memphis. You know how it is. You can follow me on Twitter at Business Square. That's at BIDNESSSQUARE at Business Square on Twitter. And we're going to get into it today, folks, on the Memphis Grizzlies versus Spurs recap. The Grizzlies finally get to snap a 6-game losing streak. That's good business, especially against the Spurs. It's never a bad thing when you win against the Spurs. So, I think this team, last night they displayed that level of energy and effort that it's going to take to really turn this thing back around and really get back to it, to where we were. I feel like the team now that's in place, I mean, there's not enough depth at shooting guard or small forward for us to be able to hold up the rest of the season. So at some point in time, they're going to have to make a trade. I don't know. I think it's going to be Jermichael Green with his expiring. I would hate to see that because I like Jermichael Green on our team. I think he is like he really pretty much is, if not the best third big man in the league, he's one of the best third big men in the league. So that's the hunch about losing Jam. And then on what's his name? I mean, the only other guys you really got that you can really dish off like that right now is going to be expiring deals. Looking at Garrett Temple. Justin Holiday can be reflipped, even though we just got him a few days ago. More than likely, if he doesn't, if things don't go well, he's probably going to get flipped again, being he's an expiring. There's a playoff team somewhere that can take him on, that's willing to take on a 3-and-D vet who's willing to play defense and shoot the three, proving that they can shoot the three and play some defense. Somebody will take that on. But right now, at some point in time, they're going to have to make another trade. Just don't have enough wing depth unless they just decide they really trying to slick tank it. And maybe so. Maybe they'll just bring up Utah. One time to be from the G League. He has been practicing with the team. So that ain't too much. That's not too far fetched itself. I think this team is really in an interesting spot because it's like nights like last night where we were just rolling, and to break down what was going on last night. Bottom line, it just looked like for one, Mark Gasol is definitely got to be aggressive at all times, man. It's so essential to this team. It is pretty much the heart and soul of this team, whether people want to realize it or not. And the reason why I say that is because Mike is most effective pretty much just mainly on offense. He is a good defensive player as far as playing the passing lanes and things of that nature, but defense is not what we paid him $153 million to do. It's not even a part of it, to be honest with you. Everything that we paid him $153 million to do was pretty much on offense, aside from his ability to play the passing line. So would I say that to say that Mark Gasol, on the other hand, is a true all-around player as far as a passer, a defensive player, as well as an offensive threat, scoring and all of those things. So rebounding, he's decent. You know, he could always be better. But last night, Mark really came out aggressive. And Mark had a double-double pretty much by halftime. You know, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much what we need from you, Mark. Mark don't realize, bruh, we ain't got no great scores on this team as far as guys that can jump, a few role players that can get their own at any one moment in time. We don't have that. So, Mark, the onus is on you and Conley to make sure this offense is a well-oiled machine, or else we ain't gonna stand a chance. We can't stand a chance with a team if this offense ain't rolling. And the reason why is because this team really wasn't designed to really score a lot of points. This team was designed to mostly rely on defense. So if the offense is not clicking at all, the defense pretty much got to be amazing. And even then, the offense still has to make some type of shots. Y'all can follow me at Twitter at Business Square. That's at BIDNESS. You can also follow me on Instagram at Man on the Square. So, that offense, man, we're gonna have to make another trade. I know we won last night. I hate to be pissing on the small parade we have it right now after losing 6 straight. Anything is happy. Anything is great when you done got a dub. But at the same time, I'm not gonna get carried away. This team got to compete this year because we don't want this draft pick this year. Especially if we can get this draft pick down to the teams, and we can get this draft pick in the teams, that's a successful season. And that's crazy to say, but that's the predicament we in right now for taking that gamble on Deontay Davis and Roddy Zachary. At the time I wasn't high on them, but then who could knock us for taking a gamble to get Deontay? Deontay was projected in some circles to be a lottery pick at that time. So you really can't blame them for that. Last night's game, get back on to what was going on. The Grizzlies really played well. The Spurs are really thin at the guard spot, and luckily we was really able to exploit that with Mike Conley's play. As far as finally being able to really get his scoring going within the flow of the offense, and he didn't really do too much, but he did just enough to where it was able to get buckets when we needed, and then also able to get the role players able to do their thing. And then the main feature of the show last night, let's just keep it a buck, was Jaren Jackson and Marc Gasol. Those are the two most important threats right now. Mike Conley is really like the third threat as far as, I'm not saying like best player. I'm saying like if we really get this team where it's supposed to be, Jaren Jackson needs to be the feature, followed by Conley and Gasol. I'm not gonna say Conley is the second, should be the second scorer on this team in the future. And like next year, the main scorer should be Jaren Jackson, then Conley, and then Marc Gasol. That should be the pecking order of the scorers. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. I said it before the last night. The team looked really well when Kyle Anderson ran the point guard. This team really needs Kyle Anderson to be playing more point guard. And it's not Kyle Anderson's fault. It's a coaching staff's fault for not putting Kyle Anderson in a position to run the point more. Let this man run the point. Let him run the point. He obviously is a better passer than even Conley is. He is the best passer on this team. I watched Kyle Anderson make passes last night in that Spurs game that was just flat out unbelievable. And this is versus the team who drafted him, who knows his game more than any other team in the league. The Spurs know his game. You know what I'm saying? He spent three seasons with the Spurs. He spent like 4 seasons with the Spurs, 4 seasons with the Spurs. They know his game. So for him to go out there and produce like that from the point guard position, that was impressive. That was flat out impressive. Knowing he can't shoot and still being able to create shots for other guys. I watched Kyle Anderson bring that ball up court, get to that corner end of that 3-point line, stay at the top, and just feed the ball to guys that was working the cut or that was working in the post. Mainly Jaren Jackson. I mean, just feeding them. Just like one of the plays, I saw somebody made a comment. It was like, man, we thought it was a fast break play. And it was Jaren Jackson. It was fast break with the Grizz on offense. Jaren Jackson on the run. Kyle Anderson on the run. And Mike Conley got the ball in most of the fast break. So when we get closer to the basket, when it comes time for the defense to commit and the offense to make a move, instead of Mike Conley, what Mike Conley does, a lot of folks was like, well, why Mike Conley didn't give the ball straight to Jaren Jackson on the lob? Well, Mike Conley made a smart move. Instead of Mike Conley giving it directly to Jaren and Jaren having to fight to finish that shot, pretty much having to be a relentless finisher in order to finish that shot, what Mike Conley did on that fast break was when the defense was time for the defense to commit, he gave the ball to Kyle Anderson to force the defense to commit to Kyle because he knew that was going to free Jaren Jackson to score. For one, that was going to free Jaren Jackson up with a little more space to score, to catch the lob. And two, Kyle is a better passer than Jaren is. So if he had gave that ball directly to Jaren might have had to finish. Might have had to give the ball to, had been in a position where he would have been forced to feed the ball to Kyle versus Kyle feeding to him. Mike played a really smart play on that play because Mike put in just that one pass, put everybody in position to play to their strengths. Kyle was the passer and Jaren Jackson was the lob alley finisher. And that's the way it needs to be. So that's an example of what Mike Conley needs to do more. That's what we need to see for Mike Conley. We need to see more of that Mike Conley, of what I saw on that one play. If Mike Conley can do more of that, that showed me he has the ability to get guys going. He just has not been operating that way. He really just been thinking about getting him going on most nights. And that's cool because we need you as a scorer too, but you're going to have to think of doing both more. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, like I said, these guys are getting triple-double. So you got to be able to show that you're on that level if you want to be calling yourself an all-star. That's just what I think about. Now, personally, I don't think you should be all-star this year. Absolutely not. But I'm not going to keep harping down on it. That's a story for another conversation for another day. You understand me? So, I think folks... it's really gonna be interesting because they can't really sign anybody per se. One of my guys, Christian Dudley over there at Beale Street Bears, I call him C Dud. Christian Dudley wrote an article recently, today or yesterday, where he talked about 3 good potential signings for the Grizzlies, like cheap signings, guys is out of the G League. And he mentioned Hannah, which is a guy that's playing for the Memphis Hustle. He mentioned Tyler, I forget Tyler, the guard for the Hustle, the other guard, light-skinned dude, the little shooter. And he also mentioned Michael Carter Williams. Michael Carter Williams would be a good one. And he mentioned... he also mentioned, who else did he mention in that? It was somebody else he mentioned that I was like, okay, that wouldn't be a bad one. But then he mentioned another interesting name, and I think Michael Carter Williams would be a good one. I think Michael Carter Williams has really developed as a passer. So I think Michael Carter Williams can really come in and help us. He can pretty much do everything except shoot and play good defense. He's not a bad defender. He's a solid defender. He's a decent defender. I won't say solid. He's a decent defender, but he's a passer and scorer more than anything. I think he'll serve his purpose here. All thing about him, he can't really shoot, but he got the length where he can play 1, 2, 3 positions possible. You know, so he gives us versatility too, because Michael Carter Williams is 6'6". So, you know, the versatility is there for him to scoop over between 2 or 3 positions. That was interesting. And then I look at the fact that he also mentioned another intriguing prospect who's not in the league right now and who's also not with the Memphis Hustle. This guy is actually with the Windy City Bulls, which is the Chicago Bulls G League team. And it's interesting because his name is CJ Fair, and I've been looking at CJ Fair years back when CJ Fair was coming out of high school. And CJ Fair, if y'all don't know, played at Syracuse. He's 6'8", 6'7". He's really like 6'6". He measures from, according to NBA Draft.net, he measured at 6'7.5", 6'7.5" in shoes at the draft combine. But he's really only about 6'6" in realistic height without shoes. But hey, they once said nobody plays without shoes on the court. So your in-shoes height is your height. So he's 6'7.5", essentially 6'8" with his shoes on. And he's pretty much a decent player all around. It's interesting he's not in the league today because at 6'7", 6'8", he's pretty much at a height to where he can play that wing forward spot. He can play the wing stretch. He can potentially play that spot. So it's interesting that he's not in the league, especially being that he's on Chicago's G League squad, and Chicago is in need of a small forward right now. Chicago really needs a small forward right now. So for this guy to not be on the roster when they in need of a small forward, that says a lot to me. So I'm wondering to myself, like, why is he not signed? He's 27 years old. Why is he not in the league yet? And look at it like one of the reasons why, he can shoot. He's actually proven. That's what's crazy. CJ Fair has proven that he can shoot in Syracuse. He shot like 47%. Now, he didn't shoot a lot of shots. That was the key. He didn't take a lot of threes, so a lot of people didn't take it as validation. They kind of looked at it as a fluke because he didn't take many shots. So that's a question. I think that if CJ Fair can play, can shoot as efficiently as he did at Syracuse, or even not even nowhere near, not even there, if he can shoot 10% less than that, if he can shoot 37% in a higher volume of three-point attempts on the NBA level, CJ Fair will transform his entire career. So that's where we at with CJ Fair. CJ Fair needs to really show, if he gets a shot, that he can shoot efficiently on the three-point level on the NBA. In the NBA, I'm tripping. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. Do we really got enough guys?
That's that shit there. You coming through?
Because right now we really thin that depth. Last night, we really was able to. I think that was a rallying cry. I think that was really a lot of emotion involved to really come out here and knock that stitch of losing off of us at least one night. So I'm glad we showed that passion. Jaren Jackson came out, and I mean, it was just awesome. Again, that alley that I was talking about with that fast break with 3-on-1, where it was Jaren, Kyle, and Mike, that was awesome. The way Jaren caught that ball with the left hand and just demolished the bucket. I mean, that was awesome. That's what we need to see more of. It's funny how when Jaren Jackson is featured in the offense, we win. That's simple. Jaren Jackson is featured in the offense, we win. Why is that so hard to grasp? Why is that so hard to understand? The boy needs to play. It's bottom line. What are we looking at? What are we doing here? Why is Jaren Jackson not? Why is JB Bickerstaff? That's my question. I really want to know why has Jaren Jackson not become an essential focal point of the offense, just like Mike Conley is? Like, to me, if I was a head coach, Jaren Jackson's shots are just as important, if not more important, than Mike Conley's. Because it's the future. This is your guy for potentially the next 10 years. Not just in potentially the next 3 years. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. This team now is in a really interesting spot. It's gonna be really interesting to see how we play out these next 5 to 10 games, because that's really gonna pretty much determine the season. The next 5 to 10 games is gonna determine the Grizzlies season, whether we should tank or what. And I damn near almost be too late to tank by then, just to keep it blunt, which that's just how hard some of these teams are tanking, like Phoenix. So I don't know, man. We gonna see. This the end of it. Y'all can catch me at Business Square on Twitter. This is Ed Memphis. This is the Square Business Sports segment. And I'm out.